In this session, we'll see the Cisco Packet Tracer, introduction to Cisco Packet. So first we'll see the connections of two PCs to a switch, two PCs to a hub, and two PCs to a router. So before going to the Cisco Packet Tracer, first we'll see the basic knowledge that is required for the connecting devices in the network communication. The connecting devices are classified into 5 types. So we have passive hubs, active hub or a repeater, and we have a bridge, router, and a gateway. So these are all the connecting devices that is used for your network communication. Now what is passive hub? Passive hub is nothing but it is just a connector, or all the links that is used for your PC connection connecting together is nothing but your passive hub, which is nothing but a connector. Okay, so that is why this passive has no layer in it. And a repeater is a device which repeats the signal. Now, as discussed in the data signals chapter, the signal energy goes down as it travels to a certain distance. So once the loss of energy happens, then the signal information is lost. To avoid it, a repeater is placed at a certain distance so that the signal is repeated or regenerated. The signal is regenerated so that the energy of the signal is maintained. So now this is done on the physical layer. Now where do we place a repeater? Now repeater is placed at a distance where the energy is going to reduce. So based on the calculations of how much the energy will be decreased or how far the signal can travel. So based on that calculations, the repeater is placed so that the signal is regenerated before it actually loses its energy. So once it reduces, then if you place a repeater, then it has no use because already the energy is lost and there are certain information lost. So there are certain noises, and after the noise, if you place a repeater, the noise is also repeated once again. So a repeater must be placed at a location where the energy is not lost. So by the distance that is calculated might loss, at that distance a repeater is placed. Now this repeater works in the physical layer. It is just a device which just regenerates the signal. So it works in the signal part. So a repeater is nothing but a 2-port, so which takes the input signal and it will regenerate it back. So it is just a 2-port. This is also called as a active hub, whereas the physical layer, just connector, is called as a passive hub. A repeater which is used in the physical layer is called as active hub. So a repeater is nothing but a hub, but hub is a multi-port repeater. Repeater is a 2-port. A hub is nothing but a multi-port repeater. So you have multiple ports. So what is repeater doing? It will just take the signals and gives it back. So it is generating the same signal, which is nothing but you're just forwarding the message. So that is the same job of a hub also. So hub will take a message and it will just forward it to the other link. So you can see there is a multiple ports. So this port will get all the signals, and whichever signals it will just forward it to the other side of the link. So it is a multi-port repeater. A hub is nothing but a multi-port repeater. Now, because it just forwards the messages, so it should be used in a smaller network. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of traffic and there'll be a lot of collision of data. So it will just take the data and it will forward it to all other links. Because it works in physical layer, it is just the job of just forwarding the messages or the signals. what is bridge? Bridge is used in the data link layer. It works in two layers. Okay, a bridge works in two layers. It occupies physical and data link layer. It's also called as a two-layer switch. Now, a bridge is slightly different from the repeater. That is, some additional processing is done. It actually reads the MAC address. That is the physical address of the address that is sent in the data link layer. So the MAC address of the host and source address, it is read, and then it will decide where the frame has to be sent forward. So it does little bit of processing. So that is why it works in data link layer. It uses the MAC address. So we'll see how the bridge actually functions. And it maintains a table to know where the frame has to be sent. So this is a bridge. It is a bridge between two LANs. So it maintains a table like this. Suppose for these addresses, these are the port numbers that has to be used for forwarding the frames. Now suppose this PC from LAN 2 wants to send a message to 41. So you can understand this is the LAN address. So this address can be 41, this PC can have 42. And for these two, the address is 12 and this is 13. Just see the last byte. The last word is nothing but the address of the PCs. And other part indicates the network address. So this is 12, this is 13, and this is 41, and this is 42. Suppose the 12 PC wants to send the message to 41. Then it has to go through the bridge, cross the bridge, and goes through the port number 1. So the address is what? If you want to send a message to 41, the port number is 1. If it is 42, then it is 1. If suppose the reverse, 41 wants to send a message to it, then the port address will be 2. So if you want to reach 12, then port number is 2. If you want to reach 13, then the port number is 2. Now what's the advantage of bridges? Suppose there are duplicate frames being sent here. Now this is a channel or a bus channel. It keeps just forwarding all the frames. So suppose 12 wants to send a message to say 41. Okay. So the bridge will see that the address is 41 and it will send it to the port 1. So this is the normal operation. Now suppose this PC sends the data, 12 wants to send a message to 13. Okay, so the packet goes, so the frame goes here. Okay, now 12 wants to send a frame to 13. So the port address is 2. Okay, so it doesn't have to cross the bridge. It doesn't need to cross the bridge, so there's no need to forward it. So since the port address is 2, the bridge will not forward it, and there's a frame going in other direction also. So 13 will receive the message. So you're avoiding the unnecessary frames to cross the bridge to the other side of the LAN. So by reading the MAC addresses, this will help the efficiency of the channel by forwarding the right frames to the right channels. Next, we'll see the router. Router is also a switch, but it is a 3-layer switch. Now, bridge will make use of MAC address to decide whether the frame has to be forwarded in which port, whereas router makes use of IP address. So this is also a switch, but instead of using MAC address, it uses an IP address to decide whether the packet has to be sent to which link or which channel or which port number. So router works in 3 layers. So this router is actually used for connecting the larger LANs. The bridge can be used for smaller LANs. The router can be used for wide area networks, which connects bigger LANs. And gateway is also a kind of switch or a router which connects two countries of uh, network, and it works in application and transport layer. Now it makes use of the message control information and decides what kind of uh, packet has to be sent or the information has to be forwarded. Now this is useful in situations where one country makes use of one kind of protocol and other country makes a another protocol. So this gateway will make certain changes to the messages and then forward it to the proper channels or to the proper links. So these are the categories of the connecting devices. So for any communication, the message has to go through a repeater, then to a bridge, then to a router, and finally through a gateway. If it is connecting to a bigger line. Now we'll see the Cisco packet tracer. First we'll see with two PCs and a hub, then to a switch, then two PCs to a router. When the Cisco packet tracer is open, you'll get a window like this. So this bottom place is where you have all these connecting devices. So we'll click on this icon. So this will create, this will show the options of different devices. So we have PC, laptop, server, and all. So we'll click on PCs. So first connection is two PCs to a hub. So just click this and then click it on this part of the window. So it will create. Now we need one more PC. So click again and click here. So two PCs are there. Now for these two PCs, we're going to connect a hub. So we need another network devices. So click this icon. So you'll have different routers. This is router. If you want hub, you have to click this option. Sorry, switches. If it is hub, you have to click on this options. So we need a hub. Click on this. You can take one hub. Click here. Again, click here. Now devices are there. So we need channels or the links to connect it. So this is the connection. So click here. You can take any of these cable wires. So if you don't know, you can click the first one. It will automatically take the proper channel or the link that is required. So you just have to click and drag. So our connection is established. Now again, we'll need one more link. Take one more link. This PC to this one. Okay, connection is established. Now we have to check whether we can send a message between these two pieces. So we'll just click on this message and click here. So this is the source now. Now again click here. So it tells you that it has no port. That means we haven't assigned the proper addresses. So since for any message you need an IP address for communication, so we'll assign the IP address now. Now this is just to show that if you don't assign proper IP addresses, it will not work properly. Now click on this first PC. If you want this message to go, click on use the escape key. So the message will go. Click on this. So click on desktop. So you have different options. So click on IP configuration. So here you can set the IP address. So just for example sakes, we'll take the address. And for subnet mask, just click here. Automatically it comes. So then close it. Now we'll do the same thing for the second PC. Desktop, IP config. The other one was 10.1. This is 10.2. Click here, subnet mask. Automatically it is set. Now we'll try again, sending a message. Okay, you can see here, this is the real-time execution, so it is successful. So if you get a message successful, that means your connection is proper. If you want to delete this one, you can say delete it. So we can have a new message to be sent. If you want to check how this message goes correctly or not, so you can delete the scenario, we can go for a newer one. So again, I'll try once again. So here is successful. So it is PC0 to PC1. I'll delete it. Now we'll see the reverse direction, PC1 to PC0. So again, it is successful. Now we'll see the simulation. Click on simulation. It will show you how the messages are forwarded. Now if you can play, see it goes through a lot of protocols. There's ICMP protocols. So you can see how each protocol is executed. So initially in the first simulation, we got unsuccessful. In the second time when we do it, it got successful. That is because it has to find the route to go to the proper PCs. So the port or the link address was not assigned. So there's a protocol that is which itself identifies what is the route to be sent. So based on the IP addresses initially, the hub itself will decide which port the message has to.